Hello there, dear friends. Welcome, welcome. So glad you could pull up a chair, find your favorite comfy spot, perhaps near a window with a pleasant view, and join me for a little heart-to-heart chat today. Let's talk about something many of us start noticing, perhaps subtly at first, then maybe a bit more insistently, as we accumulate the wisdom and grace of years, the way our bodies move, or sometimes the way they resist moving quite as freely as they once did. Do you remember a time, perhaps not so long ago, when bending down to tie your shoelaces or pick something up off the floor was just an effortless motion, something done without a single conscious thought? Or reaching up high into a kitchen cupboard for that particular spice jar felt completely natural? Maybe hopping out of the car after a drive didn't involve that moment of careful unfolding. Now perhaps things feel a little different. Maybe getting up from that deep, comfortable armchair requires a bit of a push, a slight pause to gather yourself before straightening up. Maybe those knees offer a little soundtrack of clicks or groans as you navigate the stairs, each step feeling a bit more deliberate. Or perhaps it's a general feeling of stiffness, especially first thing in the morning, like your joints need a good long while to warm up and remember how to bend smoothly. You might find yourself hesitating before kneeling down in the garden, knowing the effort it will take to get back up. Or maybe you avoid playing on the floor with the grandchildren altogether because the thought of stiff hips protesting afterwards is just too discouraging. It's that gradual, sometimes sneaky erosion of easy movement, that feeling that your body's wonderful range of motion isn't quite what it used to be. You might feel less nimble, less flexible, perhaps even a bit cautious or tentative in your movements, worried about a sudden twinge or losing your balance on uneven ground. It's more than just a physical inconvenience, isn't it? It can be deeply frustrating when your mind still feels young and eager, but your body seems reluctant to follow suit. You want to stay engaged, active, independent, tending your garden, taking those walks, pursuing hobbies, visiting friends, keeping up with life's vibrant rhythm. But this feeling of being physically limited, of having your world shrink just a little bit, because certain movements are uncomfortable or difficult, can be profoundly disheartening. It can chip away at your confidence and sometimes lead to a cycle of moving less, which then leads to even more stiffness. You might find yourself sighing quietly, thinking, well, I suppose this is just the price of admission for getting older. Nothing much to be done. It can feel like an unavoidable part of the aging process, something you simply have to learn to live with. And that sense of resignation, that feeling of your physical freedom slowly diminishing, can be truly exhausting, weighing not just on your body, but on your spirit too. But what if we could gently challenge that assumption? What if there was a simple, natural, and genuinely delicious daily habit we could embrace, something that could potentially offer our bodies the support they need to maintain better mobility, to ease some of that stiffness from the inside out? What if a common, much-loved food, packed with nature's goodness, could act as a gentle ally in our quest to keep moving freely and comfortably? Imagine feeling just a little bit looser, a touch more fluid in your movements. Hold on to that tasty little glimmer of possibility. If any of this resonates with you, that morning stiffness, the reluctance to bend or reach, that quiet wish for more ease in your daily movements, please do take a moment and share a little something in the comments below. Perhaps mention which movement you miss being able to do easily, or simply say, yes, feeling stiff today. Knowing we share these experiences helps build such a wonderful sense of community and understanding. I truly cherish reading your thoughts and connecting with you all. And if you find these friendly chats helpful or comforting, perhaps consider clicking that subscribe button, and maybe the little bell icon too, so you won't miss out when we gather again. Please stick around with me today, because we're about to explore a wonderfully simple and enjoyable habit that might just offer a helping hand in restoring some of that lost mobility. All right then, so what exactly is on our agenda for this cozy conversation? Well, settle in, because I'm truly excited to share some encouraging insights. We're going to delve into 3 specific, science-inspired ways that one particular, vibrant, and readily available food can potentially act as a gentle supporter for your joints and overall mobility as you navigate these wonderful later years. We'll explore how it might work its quiet magic, focusing on the anti-inflammatory angle, the crucial brain-body connection, and its role in protecting your body at a cellular level. And don't worry, I promise to keep the science part very straightforward and easy to grasp. Think simple analogies and clear ideas, no confusing terminology. To keep things practical and fun, we'll also share a delightful bonus tip, focusing on delicious and easy ways to make this food a regular part of your routine without any fuss. And, to bring it all to life, I have a truly heartwarming and encouraging story to share about a lovely lady, someone very much like us, who experienced a noticeable improvement in her ease of movement simply by embracing this one delicious daily habit. It's a story of hope and simple solutions. Now I can almost hear a few skeptical thoughts bubbling up, and that's perfectly okay. Perhaps you're thinking, oh dear, not another miracle food claim? Or really? How much impact can one single food possibly have on something as complex as joint stiffness or mobility loss? Or maybe, I eat fairly healthy already. Will adding this one thing truly make a difference? These are valid questions in a world overflowing with health advice, miracle cures, and sometimes conflicting information. Please let me reassure you. What we're discussing today isn't about hype or presenting a magic bullet. We're talking about the power of consistent, gentle nutritional support from a whole food that is packed with well-researched beneficial compounds. It's about understanding how certain natural foods can work with our bodies. This approach is wonderfully simple, completely accessible, no expensive powders or exotic ingredients needed, and genuinely enjoyable. It's about making a small, sustainable addition to your already existing routine, not about a drastic overhaul. So please, allow yourself to relax and listen with an open heart and mind. If you haven't already, maybe now is the perfect time to pour that comforting cup of tea or coffee. Settle back into your favorite chair. Perhaps put your feet up for a few minutes. Let the tension melt from your shoulders. Let's just have a friendly, relaxed chat, like neighbors sharing encouraging news over the fence. Let's explore together how a little splash of delicious color in your daily diet might help bring a little more ease into your step. All right, let's pull back the curtain and reveal our vibrant, mobility-supporting star. The delicious, readily available, and much-loved food we're putting in the spotlight today is the beautiful blueberry. Yes, those wonderful little spheres of deep blue goodness. You might be wondering, blueberries? They're tasty, sure, but how can they possibly help with my stiff knees or aching hips? Well, one of the primary reasons blueberries are getting so much attention from health researchers, especially concerning issues like joint health and mobility, lies in their exceptionally high concentration of natural compounds called anthocyanins. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Anthocyanins are simply the natural plant pigments that give blueberries, along with other fruits and vegetables like cherries, raspberries, red cabbage, and eggplant. They're rich, deep blue, purple, and red colors. Think of them as nature's vibrant paint. Now here's the exciting part. These colorful compounds aren't just pretty. They are potent antioxidants with significant anti-inflammatory properties. Imagine low-grade chronic inflammation simmering away quietly in your body, perhaps particularly around your joints. Think of it like tiny invisible embers constantly glowing, contributing to feelings of warmth, swelling, stiffness, and pain, making movement feel uncomfortable and restricted. What these powerful anthocyanins appear to do, based on numerous studies, is act like a gentle natural fire extinguisher for those smoldering embers. They help to calm down the body's inflammatory pathways, essentially turning down the volume on the signals that trigger excessive inflammation. It's like applying a soothing balm from the inside out. By consistently consuming foods rich in these anthocyanins, you might be helping your body create a less inflammatory internal environment overall. When there's less inflammation irritating your joints, they tend to feel less painful, less swollen, and potentially move more smoothly and with a greater range of motion. It's like oiling rusty hinges. Reducing the friction allows for easier movement. Researchers studying these effects often look at specific markers of inflammation in people's bloodstreams, and they've observed that individuals who regularly eat anthocyanin-rich foods like blueberries tend to show lower levels of these inflammatory markers compared to those who don't. This suggests a real, measurable biological effect. So what's the wonderfully simple, practical step you can take to harness this potential benefit? It's incredibly straightforward. Aim to make blueberries a regular feature in your daily diet. You don't need to eat mountains of them. A typical serving size is generally considered to be about half a cup to a full cup per day. How can you easily fit this in? Sprinkle them generously over your morning oatmeal or cold cereal. Stir them into a bowl of plain yogurt, especially Greek yogurt for that extra protein boost we've talked about before. Blend them into a smoothie, or simply enjoy a delightful handful as a refreshing snack mid-morning or afternoon. And here's great news. Both fresh and frozen blueberries are nutritional powerhouses. Frozen blueberries are often picked at their peak ripeness and flash frozen, locking in their nutrients, making them just as beneficial as fresh ones, and they're available all year round, and often more affordable. Just let them thaw slightly, or use them straight from frozen in smoothies or oatmeal. Now, while blueberries are wonderfully healthy for most people, it's worth noting that true blueberry allergies are very rare, but possible. As with any food, listen to your body. But for the vast majority of us, incorporating these delicious berries is simply about adding a powerful natural anti-inflammatory ally to an already balanced and varied diet. It's a tasty way to potentially soothe those joints from within. Now, let's delve into a second, truly fascinating way that incorporating blueberries into your daily routine might contribute to restoring or maintaining better mobility. This involves the incredibly important yet often overlooked connection between your brain and your body. Think about it. Every single movement you make, whether it's walking across the room, reaching for a glass, or even just smiling, starts with a signal originating in your brain. Your brain acts like the central command center, sending intricate instructions down complex networks of nerves to specific muscles, telling them precisely when to contract, when to relax, and how to coordinate with each other to produce smooth, controlled, and balanced motion. It's a remarkable symphony of communication happening constantly, mostly without us even thinking about it. However, as we age, just like other systems in our body, this intricate communication network can sometimes become a little less efficient. Signals might travel slightly slower, or perhaps they aren't quite as precise as they used to be. This can contribute to changes we might notice in our movement, maybe feeling a little less steady on our feet, reacting a bit slower if we stumble, experiencing slightly clumsier hand movements, or finding that coordinating complex actions takes more conscious effort. This is where our little blue friends, the blueberries, might offer some surprising support once again. Those same vibrant anthocyanins we discussed for inflammation, along with a whole host of other beneficial compounds found in blueberries, like flavonoids and polyphenols, have been extensively studied for their positive effects on brain health. What's particularly interesting is that these compounds appear able to cross the protective blood-brain barrier, meaning they can directly reach brain tissue. Once there, researchers believe they help protect brain cells, neurons, from damage caused by oxidative stress and inflammation. Yes, inflammation affects the brain too. They may also help support healthy blood flow to the brain, which is crucial for optimal function, and even encourage better communication between brain cells. Think of it metaphorically. These blueberry compounds might be helping to keep the telephone lines between your brain and your muscles clear, reducing static and ensuring the messages get through quickly and accurately. Or imagine them helping the conductor of your body's orchestra, your brain, stay sharp and focused, leading the musicians, your muscles, with precision. How does this translate to better mobility in everyday life? Well, improved brain-body communication can lead to tangible benefits like better balance, which reduces the risk of falls. It can mean quicker reaction times if you do trip or lose your footing. It might contribute to a smoother, more confident gait when walking. And it could even help with fine motor skills, making tasks requiring dexterity feel a little easier. There's even some historical anecdote supporting this connection. During World War II, British Royal Air Force pilots reportedly ate bilberry jam. Bilberries are very close cousins to blueberries packed with similar anthocyanins. Believing it helped improve their night vision and focus for nighttime missions. While this is anecdotal, it reflects a long-held observation linking these berries to sharper neurological function. So, by consistently nourishing your brain with the compounds found in blueberries, you're not just supporting memory or thinking skills. You might also be directly supporting the very control system that governs your physical movement and coordination. The simple practical step here remains consistency. Adding blueberries to your diet isn't going to instantly improve your balance overnight. Rather, it's a long-term strategy, a steady investment in protecting and supporting both your brain, health, and the vital communication pathways that allow you to move through your world with greater ease, confidence, and grace. Let's explore our third key point, which delves a little deeper into how blueberries can support mobility by promoting health at the very foundation of our bodies, the cellular level. Throughout our lives, our bodies are constantly engaged in metabolic processes, converting food to energy, repairing tissues, fighting off invaders. A natural byproduct of these essential processes, as well as exposure to environmental factors, like pollution or sunlight, is the creation of unstable molecules called free radicals. You can think of free radicals as tiny disruptive sparks flying around inside your body. When these sparks get out of control, they can cause damage to our cells, proteins, and even our DNA. This cumulative damage is known as oxidative stress. A simple way to visualize oxidative stress is to think about what happens when you cut an apple open and leave it exposed to the air. It turns brown. That browning is a form of oxidation. Similarly, think of rust forming on metal. That's also oxidation. Oxidative stress is like a slow internal rusting process happening within our cells over time. Now, how does this cellular rusting relate to mobility challenges? Well, oxidative stress doesn't discriminate. It can affect cells throughout our entire body, including those that make up the tissues crucial for movement. Our muscles, the cartilage that cushions our joints, the tendons that connect muscle to bone, and the ligaments that stabilize our joints. When these cells are continuously damaged by oxidative stress, the tissues they form can become weaker, less resilient, and less efficient. Cartilage might break down more quickly, leading to joint pain and stiffness. Muscle fibers might not repair themselves as effectively, contributing to weakness. Connective tissues might lose some of their elasticity, reducing flexibility. Essentially, this cellular wear and tear contributes significantly to the aging process within our musculoskeletal system, making us more susceptible to injury, pain, and reduced mobility. Here's where blueberries shine brightly once again. They are renowned as one of nature's most potent sources of antioxidants. While the anthocyanins are star players, blueberries contain a whole synergistic team of different antioxidant compounds working together. What do antioxidants do? They act like dedicated cellular bodyguards or a highly efficient repair crew. They roam through your system, actively seeking out those harmful free radicals, the tiny sparks, and neutralizing them before they can cause significant damage. Imagine them like selfless heroes, sacrificing themselves to protect your cells from harm. They help to quench the sparks and polish away the rust. By consistently supplying your body with a rich source of antioxidants, like those abundant in blueberries, you're essentially bolstering your body's natural defense system against this ongoing oxidative stress. You're helping to protect the very integrity of the cells that make up your muscles, joints, and connective tissues. How does this translate to better bending, reaching, and walking? It's about supporting the fundamental health and resilience of the tissues involved in movement. When your cartilage cells are better protected, your cartilage may stay healthier for longer, providing better cushioning. When muscle cells are less damaged, your muscles may maintain their strength and function more effectively. When connective tissues are more resilient, you might retain better flexibility. It's not about reversing decades of wear and tear overnight, but about providing consistent protection at the cellular level to help slow down age-related decline and support smoother, more comfortable movement for the long haul. The simple step? You guessed it. Make those antioxidant-rich blueberries a regular, consistent part of your balanced diet. Think of it as daily maintenance for your cellular health, a long-term investment in keeping your body's movement machinery running as smoothly as possible, for as long as possible. All right. We know blueberries are nutritional powerhouses, packed with compounds that can potentially help soothe inflammation, sharpen our brain-body connection, and protect our cells, all contributing to better mobility. But let's be honest, even the healthiest habit can feel like a chore if it becomes monotonous. That's why our bonus tip today is all about celebrating the incredible versatility of blueberries and exploring fun, delicious, and creative ways to weave them into your daily routine, making this healthy habit feel less like a must-do and more like a delightful get-to-do. Thinking beyond simply eating a handful plain or sprinkling them on cereal opens up a wonderful world of culinary possibilities that keeps things interesting and ensures you're consistently getting those beneficial compounds without ever feeling bored. Let's start with breakfast, the meal that sets the tone for the day. We mentioned oatmeal and yogurt, fantastic staples. But how about upgrading your pancakes or waffles? Gently fold a cup of fresh or frozen blueberries into your favorite whole grain batter just before cooking. The warmth makes them burst slightly, creating little pockets of sweet, juicy flavor. Or consider making a simple blueberry compote to spoon over the top instead of syrup. Just simmer blueberries, fresh or frozen, with a splash of water and maybe a tiny bit of lemon juice and zest until they soften and thicken slightly. It's a naturally sweet and vibrant topping. Moving beyond breakfast, let's talk smoothies. We touched on this, but let's dive deeper. A blueberry smoothie is a fantastic way to get a concentrated dose of goodness. Try blending frozen blueberries. They make the smoothie thick and cold without needing ice, with half a banana for creaminess, a large handful of spinach or kale. Truly, you won't taste it, but you get the extra nutrients. A scoop of plain Greek yogurt, or a spoonful of almond butter for protein and healthy fats, and enough unsweetened almond milk or water to reach your desired consistency. It's a complete, nourishing mini-meal in a glass. Now think salads. Adding blueberries might sound unusual at first, but trust me, it's a game changer. Toss a generous handful into a mixed green salad, especially one with slightly bitter greens like arugula or spinach. The sweetness of the blueberries provides a beautiful contrast. They pair exceptionally well with toasted nuts, like walnuts, or pecans, tangy cheeses like goat cheese or feta, and light vinaigrette dressings. You could even make a blueberry vinaigrette by blending blueberries with olive oil, balsamic or apple cider vinegar, a touch of Dijon mustard, and seasoning. It adds a stunning color and unique flavor profile to any salad. What about baking? Blueberries are classic additions to muffins, scones, quick breads, and coffee cakes. Look for healthier recipes that use whole wheat flour, less sugar, the blueberries, add natural sweetness, and perhaps incorporate some Greek yogurt or applesauce for moisture instead of excessive oil or butter. Remember to toss the blueberries lightly in a little flour before adding them to the batter. This helps prevent them from sinking to the bottom during baking. And don't shy away from savory applications. As mentioned, a simple blueberry sauce, or chutney, perhaps with a hint of balsamic vinegar or herbs like rosemary or thyme, can be an incredibly elegant and delicious accompaniment to grilled or roasted pork tenderloin, chicken breasts, or even salmon. The slight tartness cuts through the richness of the meat beautifully. Remember Carol's blueberry salsa? Chopped blueberries, finely diced red onion, fresh cilantro, lime juice, maybe a pinch of cumin, and a tiny bit of minced jalapeno for a gentle kick. It's vibrant, refreshing, and unexpected, served with fish tacos or grilled chicken. Keep a bag of frozen blueberries in your freezer at all times. They are your versatile friend. Toss them into recipes just like fresh ones. Drop a few into your water bottle for infused water, or into a glass of iced tea for a pretty and flavorful addition. Finding these diverse and enjoyable ways to eat blueberries makes it effortless to reach your daily goal. It becomes a pleasure, not a prescription, ensuring this mobility-supporting habit is one you'll happily stick with for the long run. Now, let me share Margaret's story with you in a little more detail, because her experience truly captures the essence of how simple, consistent changes can bring back joy and ease into activities we cherish. Margaret, at 76, wasn't just someone who liked gardening. Her garden was her sanctuary, her canvas, her lifelong passion. She knew the names of every perennial, fussed over her prize-winning roses like they were her children, and found profound peace and satisfaction in the simple act of nurturing life from the soil. Her hands, though starting to show the map of years, were skilled and knowing, coaxing beauty from bulbs and seeds. Her backyard wasn't just landscaping. It was a vibrant ecosystem she had curated with love and dedication over decades. But over the past couple of years, a shadow had fallen over this cherished pastime. The culprit was the increasing rebellion of her joints. Bending down to pull out stubborn weeds wasn't just uncomfortable, it often sent sharp shooting pains through her knees, making her gasp. Kneeling on her foam pad to plant delicate annuals, something she used to do for hours, now left her hips screaming in protest for the rest of the day, making walking feel stiff and labored. Reaching up to prune the climbing roses on the trellis became a calculated effort, often resulting in an ache deep in her shoulder sockets. Even fine motor tasks like carefully separating tiny seedlings or tying up tomato plants felt clumsy as her fingers grew stiff and less responsive, sometimes fumbling the twine or crushing a delicate stem. It wasn't just the physical discomfort. It was the profound sense of loss. She found herself retreating from her sanctuary, spending more time indoors looking out the window at the tasks she longed to do but felt unable to tackle. The weeds grew bolder, the roses less meticulously pruned. Her garden, once a source of pure joy, started to feel like a reminder of her body's limitations. The frustration was immense, mixed with a quiet sadness and a growing fear about what this meant for her future independence and connection to the earth she loved so dearly. During a weekend visit from her granddaughter Emily, a bright young woman studying nutrition, Margaret couldn't hide her melancholy as she gestured towards the garden. She confided in Emily, her voice tinged with resignation, about how her creaky, old joints were making gardening almost impossible, how she felt she was losing a vital part of herself. Emily listened with deep empathy, holding her grandmother's hand. Then, remembering lectures and articles from her studies, she gently brought up the topic of inflammation and diet. She explained in simple terms how certain foods possess natural anti-inflammatory properties, and mentioned the growing body of research around berries, especially blueberries, and their potential benefits for joint health and easing stiffness. She suggested, "Grandma, what if you just tried adding a small bowl of blueberries to your breakfast every day? They taste lovely, and maybe, just maybe, they could help a little." Margaret smiled weakly, touched by Emily's concern but deeply skeptical. "Oh, blueberries are nice, dear," she said, patting Emily's hand. "But I really don't think a few berries are going to fix my arthritis. It takes more than fruit to deal with these aches." She envisioned needing strong medications or giving up gardening entirely, not eating more berries. But Emily was gently persistent, explaining it wasn't about a cure, but about potentially reducing the underlying inflammation that made the joints feel so angry. She even bought Margaret a large container of fresh blueberries and a bag of frozen ones before she left, saying, "Just try it for a month, Grandma. For me, it's healthy anyway." Moved by Emily's care and perhaps clinging to a tiny sliver of hope, Margaret agreed. She started diligently, adding about half a cup of blueberries to her morning oatmeal or sometimes her cottage cheese. She didn't expect miracles. The first week passed, then the second, with no dramatic changes. She continued mainly out of habit and love for Emily. But somewhere around the third or fourth week, subtle shifts began to emerge, almost unnoticed at first. One sunny afternoon, she found herself spontaneously kneeling down to admire a newly opened peony bloom, and when she stood up, the usual intense ache in her hips was less. Still there, but muted. A few days later, while deadheading her geraniums, a task involving lots of finger work, she realized her knuckles didn't feel quite as stiff and swollen afterwards. Reaching down to pick up a fallen trowel felt marginally easier, less like a major operation. These weren't earth-shattering changes. She still had arthritis. She still had aches. But the intensity seemed dialed back. The constant nagging stiffness felt less pervasive. Encouraged by these glimmers, she continued her daily blueberry habit faithfully. Over the next few months, the improvements, though gradual, became undeniable. She found she could comfortably spend 30 minutes gardening, then an hour, without being completely incapacitated afterwards. She started tackling tasks she had abandoned, weeding small sections, carefully pruning her beloved roses again. The joy began to seep back in. She felt less like a prisoner of her joint pain and more like herself, Margaret, the passionate gardener. The most profound change wasn't just the reduction in pain or increase in flexibility. It was the restoration of hope and the feeling of being proactive. That simple, enjoyable habit had given her back a measure of control and allowed her to reconnect fully with the activity that nourished her soul. When she next spoke to Emily, her voice bubbled with enthusiasm. "You know, sweetheart, those blueberries, I was so doubtful, but I honestly believe they're making a difference. I'm back in my garden properly again." Margaret's story is such a beautiful, gentle reminder that we should never underestimate the power of consistent, simple, natural choices in supporting our bodies and enabling us to continue living lives filled with purpose and the activities we love. So, my dear friends, as our time together today draws to a gentle close, let's take a moment to gather the comforting and hopeful threads we've explored. We've journeyed into the world of the humble blueberry, discovering its potential as a simple, delicious, and natural ally in our ongoing quest to maintain mobility and ease joint discomfort as we navigate the beautiful terrain of our later years. We celebrated its vibrant anthocyanins, those colorful compounds that act like nature's gentle firefighters, helping to potentially cool down inflammation that contributes so much to stiffness and aches, allowing for smoother, more comfortable movement. We uncovered the fascinating link between blueberries and the brain-body connection, learning how nourishing our brain health with these berry compounds might lead to better coordination, improved balance, and more precise control over our movements, keeping those vital communication lines clear. And we delved into the crucial role of blueberries as powerful antioxidant bodyguards, protecting our cells from the rust of oxidative stress, thereby supporting the health and resilience of our muscles, cartilage, and connective tissues right down to their foundations. Plus, we had fun exploring the wonderful versatility of blueberries with our bonus tip, realizing how easy and enjoyable it can be to incorporate them into everything from smoothies and salads to savory sauces and healthy baked goods, making this beneficial habit a true pleasure rather than a chore. It's all about embracing simple natural strategies that work with our bodies, offering gentle support from the inside out. Now, I truly hope that our conversation has perhaps planted a seed of inspiration, offered a glimmer of hope, or provided a simple, practical idea that feels achievable and appealing to you. Maybe you're already thinking about adding blueberries to your next grocery list with renewed enthusiasm. Or perhaps you're tempted to try that blueberry smoothie recipe tomorrow morning. Or maybe it simply sparked a greater appreciation for the power that resides within simple, whole foods to support our well-being. Remember, the journey towards maintaining or restoring mobility isn't usually about finding one magic bullet or undertaking strenuous, painful regimens. More often, it's about the cumulative effect of consistent, kind, and sensible habits woven into the fabric of our daily lives. It's about patience, celebrating small victories, like bending down a little easier or walking a little further with less discomfort, and nourishing our bodies with the wholesome goodness nature provides. And now I would be absolutely delighted if you would share a piece of your own journey or wisdom with our wonderful community here. Do you already include blueberries in your diet? Have you noticed any particular benefits, perhaps in terms of joint comfort or overall energy? Do you have a favorite blueberry recipe or a unique way you enjoy eating them? Or maybe this conversation has sparked a question or a new idea you'd like to share? Please feel free to express yourself in the comments section below. Your stories, tips, and even your challenges create such a rich tapestry of shared experience from which we can all learn and draw encouragement. If you found value in our chat today, if it offered you a moment of comfort, a spark of hope, or some useful information, would you do me the small kindness of giving this video a gentle thumbs up by clicking that like button? It acts like a little beacon, helping other seniors who might be struggling with mobility issues or looking for natural support strategies to find this encouraging conversation too. And if you haven't yet officially joined our warm and growing circle of friends, I would be truly honored if you'd click the subscribe button and perhaps tap the little notification bell next to it as well. That way you'll always know when we're gathering for another friendly chat about navigating health, happiness, and well-being in these golden years. Think of it as reserving your favorite comfy chair for our next session. And finally, please consider sharing this video We all likely know someone, a friend, a neighbor, a relative, who has mentioned feeling stiffer lately or who simply appreciates gentle, positive health information. Sending them the link to this video could be a thoughtful gesture, a simple way of sharing potential support and letting them know you care. Sharing knowledge offered with warmth and encouragement is a beautiful way to strengthen our bonds. Thank you, from the very bottom of my heart, for your precious time, your thoughtful attention, and your wonderful presence here with me today. Connecting with you is truly a highlight for me. Until we meet again for our next conversation, please promise to take exceptionally good care of yourselves. Listen to the quiet wisdom of your body. Nourish it with kindness and good food. Keep moving in ways that bring you joy, however small, and cherish your resilience. Sending you my warmest thoughts and heartfelt wishes for ease and comfort. Bye for now.